How many spider people do you need? Well, I think the answer, it's obvious. You need all of them. All of the spider people, because I have another delivery from Pop Collectibles. By the way, that's where I buy my stuff. I have the Spider-Man battling version from Spider-Man No Way Home. Exclusive. Look, it's got a sticker. Battle damage, diorama base. It's Spider-Man, Tom Holland, a new head sculpt, which we haven't seen before. Pretty excited about that. Pretty sick box art. We should open it up, check it out, and see how many more spider people do we need in the collection. I don't know. Let's open it up. So we got our Spider-Man box looking right here, and sorry for the glare, but this is a high gloss box. It is. This is the exclusive edition, which comes with some extra little tidbits. And honestly, it's pretty freaking cool. We got a nice little bomb right there from a Goblin. We got some tentacles there from Doc Ock. It's pretty nice. I kind of dig it, honestly. But it's got a lot of, it's high gloss. So there's a slipcover here. MMS 625 for those wondering. Movie promo edition. Nice little scenes we've got back here on the back. That's really hard to see with the glare. Sorry about that. But I kind of dig it. Nice little electro lightning going on here. Now, when you do this little slipcover, this is what you get. It's a deep figure. Like the box is a deep figure because it's got a giant diorama base, which is part of the appeal of picking up this particular one. But we got some nice little multiverse action going on here. Nice little spider symbol on the back. And there we go. But it does come in there. And obviously it says Spider-Man No Way Home. So there's super exciting stuff. Nice box art. I guess, it's nice to appreciate that from time to time. The clamshell on another, the clamshell on the other hand, let's go ahead and check this out. It is 2 different layers. We've got our figure, we've got head sculpts, we've got hands, we've got webs. We got our little box right here from Doctor Strange, and we got some eyes and whatnot. And then if we take this, we got a diorama base, which is flipping huge, by the way. That's and heavy. So there's that. We'll come back to this guy in just a second. But let's go ahead and check out the figure. So if you recall Spider-Man No Way Home, there was several suits from that film. We've got static cling going on. Look at this. Static cling. With several, get out of here. That's not even cool. Get the hell out of here. Anyway, static cling. As I was saying, you got several suits from Spider-Man No Way Home. I expect this one to be very similar to the previous version of this, which would have been the upgraded suit from Far From Home. I expect it to be very similar. I can already see some differences in it. Obviously, the battle damage part, we'll get into that. But there's definitely some differences in the suit. So, if you have a Spider-Man figure already, you need this one too. Let's just get into that. That's pretty cool. Nice little battle damage going on here in the back. Dark spots. Yeah, we'll get into that after I get the plastic bits off. But that's kind of cool. The head sculpt, this right here, I think is flipping awesome. This is freaking cool. I like this a lot. Look at that head sculpt, man. The half masked up head sculpt. We haven't seen that before. This is the first time we're seeing this from Hot Toys, where we have like a half Spider-Man mask. At least one that I recall. If there's one out there I missed, let me know. But definitely some weathering going on the cheekbones. I dig this. Oh, there's weathering on the top of the suit. Now, this is obviously a molded material. This is not cloth. But you can even see, before we can get into crazy stuff, you can even see the hexagonal pattern of the suit in the paint applications of this. So they did a quite a good job. That's a really good looking head sculpt. I dig that. Now, you do not get a fully unmasked head sculpt with this. You don't get one of those. So if you want that, you got to use one of your other Tom Holland head sculpts, which we'll look at a little later. But I very much like this. I really do. This is probably the way to go. But we'll see how it plays out. We've got hands. We got a cell phone. What the heck does this cell phone say? Somebody want to screen cap that? It's super small. I'm going to try and read this. On my way, 2 minutes. Don't text and swing, MJ. So there you go. That's what it says. On my way, 2 minutes. Don't text and swing, MJ. Pretty cool. We've seen this before, but it's nice there. It's just actual text on there. We got some web eyes, which we've seen a pile of times. I'm not even going to take these out of the package, guys, because this is what we've seen these 47 times. Magnetic eyes, you can flip those out. Very easy to change out, depending on what pose you want to do. I'm not going to mess with those. I never do. Honestly, I don't even bother with them. Webs on the bottom of the box here, we got all the normal webs that we've seen 400 times as well. This is not about having like new accessories, but if this is your first Spider-Man, then that's cool. You got this little web here you can grab. You got a little funnel thing which you can try and attach to pieces with some blue tack or something. But they're cool pieces to have. But like I said, we've seen it a bunch of times already, and I can already imagine we're going to have all the same hands. Well, let's check them out. Let's see what we got. Let's see if there's any battle damage going on with the actual hand. That would be curious. I can already see these are pretty much all the same hands. This reminds me of the Advanced Suit Spidey hand, right? Or Scarlet Spidey, even that one. Well, no, Advanced Suit. Scarlet Spidey, one of those two. The hand right there. They all look very similar. They look like the same hands we got with every other Spider-Man figure, which is just fine, because if you happen to lose one, then you've got a pile of them, right? So we're going to have our web crawling hands. That's these guys. And there's not a whole lot of paint action going on here. These are sculpted plastic, so a little bit of texturing going on in the black section. I don't know how well that's going to show up on camera, but there's a little bit of texture if you see it in the light. And then you've got like the texturing, stippling going on with the hands. So you got web shooting hands. You've got thwipping hands right and left. Obviously, you're going to have one of each of those. You're going to have fists, because Spider-Man punches things from time to time. You've got that. You got a cell phone holding hand. Super fun there. And the little peace sign hand. So you got that. So those are hands. On the figure itself, it's got these little grippy, relaxed gripping hands, floating. I don't know. It's whatever there. And then we've got this guy right here. Let's see. Ooh, that's some nice paint application. Look at that. Look at how that light's bouncing off of that. That's cool. I dig that, man. I like how the green is bouncing off, and then you got this like brassy color, and it transitions. This is painted beautifully. That's pretty stinking cool. I imagine obviously one of these hands are going to be used to hold this thing. So it may be the cell phone hand, or maybe I guess one of these hands that's on the figure will have to hold this. But I like this. This is cool. I'd say this is about, I don't know, 1.5 inches cubed. That's what this is. So it's not terribly huge, but the paint application is gorgeous. I like that very much. So that's only one piece. And then we've got, if we get this out of here, we've got this Diorama base to deal with. This thing is a behemoth. So we got normal waist grabber Spideys. We've got a short web pole, or a dynamic stand. That's interesting. I don't know why we'd have that. We'll find out in a little bit. And we've got a longer dynamic stand. That's awesome. Let's see. Oh, other way. Let's see what this thing's all about. Oh, yeah. Man, that's got some weight to it. That's nice. All right, get that out of here. Look at that. That's cool. So that's going to be the bottom. And it just says Marvel 2022 CPI. So that's going to be the bottom. There's a nice little felt pad there, I guess, so it doesn't slide. That's nice. That's cool. I dig that. Nice little sanctorum, nice little battle scene. So the first thing I'm noticing here, like the paint applications on this are, they're there, but they're not crisp. Like this is a very soft fade in paint applications. Like if you wanted to go into this hard, you could definitely go do some more detailed paint work, and I may do that. This doesn't blow me away in the paint department, but it is nice to have, and I imagine it will look really good when we get it posted up. But I'm looking like in here, like there's some damage. You can see it sculpted in, but just a simple wash would bring that out, and all these cracks, like right here, a simple wash, a black wash would really enhance that. And I may go ahead and do that and add some to that, because honestly, the paint applications on this are, for what it's supposed to be, it's a little weak in the paint application. Like especially over here, this brick, right? This right here, like it's just weak. If anybody's curious to know the fastest way to get that plastic off these figures, these guys right here, I use these for 3D printing. You get them for model building, different, they're nippers. I don't know exactly the technical name of them, but whatever it is, these guys work great. They're thin. You can get in between the tape, cut the tape off. You don't have to worry about hurting the figure. Let's look at our Spidey, because he is freaking cool, man. So this is going to be very similar to the upgraded suit. You guys all know my fandom for the upgraded suit. I thought it was beautiful. The head sculpt was amazing. This one's going to be very similar. It is different, but we'll get into that. So just quick note, he's going to be able to pose whatever the hell we want him to do. Ratcheted. I mean, look at this. It's a Spidey figure. He's going to be able to do whatever the heck we want to do. Ratcheted hips. We can go way out there. Double bend on the knee. We're going to be able to pose the crap out of this thing, which we will do because it is a Spidey figure. That being said, let's take a look at the reason why somebody might want this, which is going to be the battle damage part, and then obviously changing out the head sculpt. For me, the battle damage is acceptable for what it is. I don't think they could have gone in and do like tears in the suit, which would have been amazing, but they haven't done that. Tears in the suit would have been next level, but then I would worry about posing it. Are you going to destroy your figure? That might, nobody wants to do that. But I am noticing, we'll kind of zoom in here. I am noticing like right in here, you can see where there's the hint of it like going through the suit. You can see it right there. That's like a hint of it. So that's kind of, I dig that one. There's some damage going on right in here. You can kind of see it. You see a little speckling going on in the black sections. I mean, there's some nice stuff. You got some nice marks on the mask up top, on the back. And I am curious to see if all of these are going to be the same. Like, is everybody's battle damage going to be the same? Because this is a cloth thing. This isn't, did they paint this on? Or is it like the clones where they just painted all the damage on? They're all the same. Curious to see how that's going to play out. But there's weathering back here. And are they different? This is damaged. I like that. Like, it would be kind of weird if that wasn't. We got some nice paint applications here. Yeah, that's not bad. Even down here on the foot, which you do have your normal toe articulation. Nice. Oh, that's nice. Nice little detail back there. Range of motion on the feet is going to be amazing as always. I'm looking for like anything else that might be damaged, but it kind of, I guess, like here behind the calf, you can see like some splotches on the black there, and then down here on the elbow. Like, it's not overly done, right? It's not overly done. Right in here, you can kind of see something like it's not overly done, but that's okay. Because I don't know how well this thing would hold up if, like I said, if they like put holes in the figure. However, I do happen to have, I do happen to have both Spideys here, so we can see, compare and contrast these two. And this one right off the bat looks darker in red. You can maybe see that on camera. That might be a thing. They're very similar height-wise. I mean, I would assume it's the same body. We'll get to standing them up, posing them. We'll have some fun with that. But I'm noticing some differences in just like the belt area. So this doesn't have this belt here. It has this belt here. I'm trying to keep an eye on this. I literally just opened this. I'm trying to spot those for you guys. But they're very, very similar. Even the texture, like here and the texture here, that's very similar. This section here is a little thicker on the upgraded suit, a little thinner, more streamlined on this one. The hands are essentially exactly the same. I don't see a whole lot of difference here, guys. Obviously, paint applications. This one's battle damage. This one's not. Now this I didn't notice this on the upgraded suit. There's no web back here. Anybody ever notice that? I never did. This is my first time ever noticing that. That's crazy. Like, why wouldn't there be any pattern there? How did I miss that after having this thing for a year? That's crazy. It looks so, it's like so obvious that it should be there. And I don't know. Anyways, down behind the knee, it looks very, very, very similar, right? So let's take this And let's pop this other head sculpt on there and we'll kind of see what it looks like. Head sculpt wise, it looks fantastic. This is what I wanted. I was hoping it would look fantastic. It does look fantastic. And yeah, I very much like this. Look at this. I mean, Hot Toys has nailed the Tom Holland sculpt multiple times now. This is no different. I'm looking at like the way the suit and the mask go together. It's not seamless. You know, there's some differences in there. It's not perfect. This is slightly a darker shade than this. I don't think it's egregious, but it is a little darker. But again, sculpted material versus a fabric, I don't know how close you could actually get. I don't think it's enough to worry about. That head sculpt is cool. I love the battle damage parts up here and here. I'd like to see some blood going on here. There's some little bit of charcoal, almost like smokish battle damage going on here. But I would like to see even more. Like, you know what I mean? So I went ahead and put on the unmasked head sculpt for Tom Holland for the upgraded suit so you guys can see these two. It appears to me to be very, very similar, minus the hair, and then they added some paint. It looks very, very similar. If my eyes are deceiving me, but essentially I think it's the exact same sculpt with, the add-ons. Well, there you go. Depending on which one you want, choose your weapon. Let's get into some posing. I know that's what you guys are here for. Let's roll. And here we go. We got Spidey up on his diorama base, looking all kinds of awesome. I think so anyways. This is going to look great on your display. I do think the base needs some paint applications, and I might even take Spidey's battle damage weathering even further. Dare I do it for a video? I very well might. Anyways, I digress. This guy looks pretty sick. I did have to use the dynamic stand in the back to hold him up there because as he's rotating, he wanted to fall over, balancing-wise and that kind of stuff. But I imagine if he wasn't spinning around, he wouldn't really need it in this pose if you balanced him correctly. So there's that. But if you got him on a turntable, you might want to use it. I think this guy looks pretty freaking cool. Plenty of posing options. Obviously, he's a Spidey. He can do anything you want him to do. And I really am enjoying this half-masked head sculpt. When we first saw this last year when they previewed it, I was all about it. And I think in person, it actually looks kind of cool. So I would like to see that. I would almost like to see, if I could, almost a fabric one, like a half fabric one like they've given us in the past that you could actually put on like a hoodie, skull cap or something like that. I think that would be an option as well. But then the hair would be a thing and that kind of stuff. But I think this is probably the best of both worlds right there. Looking all kinds of good. As far as the weathering on the suit, it's minimal. Reminds me of like a Dusty Deadpool. If you guys ever had that figure, kind of reminds me of that. And then the paint application on the base, while it is nice and for most people will be perfectly sufficient, I think the paint applications could be a little bit better. So we're gonna definitely paint that up. And I figured if I'm gonna paint that up, maybe I ought to paint this guy up too. Is that sacrilege to paint up a Hot Toy? I don't think so. I think it'd be pretty cool. Anyways, we're gonna have some more fun posing it and see what else we can come up with. All right, so we got another pose here, and I do want to discuss the dynamic base for just a second. All right, so one flaw I found with this thing, trying to get it posed up, trying to do something fun like an aerial, something, because it's a building, it's supposed to be jumping over it, so I kind of want to do like a forced perspective thing. No bueno. The flight poles they include in the base, or in the box, are not long enough. The short one is for what it's fine, whatever. But the longer one is too short for the poses I'm trying to accomplish. I find it very frustrating to deal with that. So before we get all the that's what she said jokes, we'll get in here. But this is as high as it goes. So if you want to have Spidey in an aerial pose floating above this base, you're going to have to put something behind this base with a stand that's taller and elevated, because using the one that's included in this is just you're not going to be satisfied with what you get. So there you go. Now you know. Yeah. So anyways, I chose to just have him sitting on, literally resting on the grabber, and I turned it upside down because he was tilting backwards, and I figured why not use leverage to my favor. And here we go. So easy figure to pose. I mean, I've done so many Spider-Man poses over the years. It's insane. But I'm trying to do one including this base, which I was trying to have some fun with it. You know, there's that. No limits in range of motion on this, guys. I mean, ratcheted joints, hips, arms, shoulders. I mean, it'll do whatever the hell you want it to do. The question is, what do you want it to look like on your display? That's really the question. I haven't decided yet how mine's going to look. I guess we'll do one more and see what I end up with. And here's a pose you should not try at home, but I wanted to see if it was possible. It took me about 10 or 15 minutes to get this balanced. Number one, just standing there. Number two, get it balanced to where it would actually spin around without having to break out of stand. And here goes. Why not? I wanted to use the diorama base, I guess I should say, in a way that it was not intended for, and that Spidey would actually, you know, do in a movie. He's done it. He's supported some buildings, right? And what I wanted to also show you is this suit is super posable. It will do whatever you want it to do. As long as you're not afraid to crease a section. It's just like any other spider suit, right? It's going to crease, it's going to do its thing. But if you put it back in a museum pose for a few days or maybe even a day, it would actually heal itself and go back to normal, which is nice. So keep that in mind. Don't be afraid to pose your figures. I guess it won't focus right there. But here it is. He is supporting that heavy base, and I do mean heavy. That is a heavy base on his own with no supports whatsoever, and doing a fantastic job saving the city and the multiverse, I guess is what he ended up saving in this particular film. I'm super happy with this one, guys. I'm not sure how I'm going to end up posing him in the end when it gets to display. That's still to be determined. I did skip the Doctor Strange from this film because I didn't really like it. I prefer the one from Multiverse of Madness, and I don't need 14 Doctor Strange figures. So 14 Spider-Man figures, yes. Doctor Strange figures, no. I like the head sculpt on the Multiverse of Madness film better, so I'm going to go with that one. So I don't have him for this particular video. But that being said, I enjoyed the film. Can't wait for the other ones. Hot Toys teased us with the final in-scene Spidey suit thing. We'll see how that plays out. If you want to pick this one up, it's in stock at Pop Collectibles. It is pretty cool if you are just a Tom Holland Spidey fan. If you have the upgraded suit, do you need this one? No, not so much. The upgraded suit one is just fine. You probably just pick up the head sculpt on this one on the aftermarket. Somebody's kitting or parting one out. You probably pick one of those up. The diorama base is cool. Does need some paint applications, but I think I'm gonna customize it and have some fun with it. So we'll see how that plays out in a future video. As always, click what you like.